Starfield is a game that has so many different systems and amazing things in it. It's hard to learn them all. But I'm going to teach you guys how to build this right here, my A-Class MSHD Falcon. Let's get into it. First things first, let's pull up on the technician. Alright, so once you get into the shipbuilding menu, we click the shipbuilder and boom, we're good to go. Now let's go over some quick ground rules. First things first, this ship is an A-class ship, so there's anything that's B class or higher, B or C class, I won't be able to add on to it. This ship has maxed out lasers, missiles, particle beams, a decent sized engine, 4 ticks in the shield, and a decent grav drive. The fuel is 160, the hull is 524. The fuel is going to be how far your ship can fly before it needs to stop. So if you're trying to fly to a system that's really far away, then you want to max out your fuel to get the most distance. The hull is considered the HP of your spaceship. So the higher this number is, the better. However, the higher that number is, the more mass you have. And the more mass you have, the harder it is going to be for you to balance that spaceship out. So you really want to pick and choose what you want to go for. Cargo is essential for everybody in Starfield. For this, I have 710 cargo. The shield capacity, for right now, this spaceship doesn't have any type of contraband shields on it. So I'm going to have to get out there and go find some good ones. If you found any really nice ones that I need to know about, then let me know down in the comment section below. Let's move right on. So, like I said, this is a A-class ship, so we can only have a Class A reactor. The Class A reactor is 20, which is delivering 20 power to my entire ship. I really want to take away one of my weapons so that I can allocate more power to specific things in my ship. And in a future video, I'm going to teach you guys about the best weapons to use, some of the weapons that I would stay away from, some more tips and tricks about your spaceship, as well as a great way to farm some skill points so you can level up. But let's keep it moving. So I got 6 crew slots, so I'm allowed to have a bunch of crew members on this ship, as well as 23 light years of jump. That's actually really good. I think the max that you will ever need in this game is about 28, so this spaceship isn't too far off from that. However, I wouldn't take this spaceship too deep into the game because of the low hull. Like, it doesn't have enough HP that I want, and it doesn't have the type of shields that I would really need to get me through the mid to end game ranges of Starfield. Moving right along, this shield has 486 to it. I have 12 in lasers, 141 in missiles, and 27 in my particle beams. The value of my ship is decent, and the mass isn't too bad. This ship, of course, is registered to me. I had stolen this ship, changed the name of it after I finished building it. And you can change the name of your ship by just going right in here. Boom. Go into the shipbuilder, click flight check, and there it is where it says name ship. Now, this is the ship right here, the ship of my current dreams. This is actually a really amazing ship, and I'm in love with it. First things first, I bought a samurai cockpit. I was able to get the samurai cockpit from this location right here in Jemison. Different settlements have different components that they sell, so you want to fly around to the different systems and star stations so that you get the best components for your spaceship. So on both sides of my ship, I added these little pinpoint 3G landing gear port 4s. I added one on either side, and there's 4 landing gears on this ship. The landing gears are going to kind of dictate what type of shape or design your spaceship is going to have. There's different landing gears in the game. For example, if you go over to gear, right here you have this landing gear, and then you have the second landing gear right here. You can actually change the variation of specific landing gears by just pushing left or right. So be mindful of that when you're building for your certain designs. I didn't realize that at first, and all of my landing gears were the exact same thing, or it was the same version. But if you actually pay close attention to the marker right below the title of the component, it tells you that you can change to different variants of it. For example, I'll go ahead and put this right here, and I'll take that off. So I'll delete this so you guys can see what it is. This is the original Pinpoint 3G landing gear port 4, and there's 3 variations to it. This is the front variation, this is the midsection variation, which I have which I'm actually using, and this is the one that you would throw on the back of the spaceship. If you've ever built something and you don't want to go through the trouble of trying to find it, you can actually just duplicate that item and you're good to go. When you duplicate an item though, it's going to duplicate absolutely everything that's attached to it, so be mindful of that. So I don't need this extra gun. I can flip it, turn it around, and when you duplicate an item, it actually keeps the color scheme, which is really helpful. So it might not be a bad idea, instead of you just going through the menu and trying to shop for a new item, it might be a better idea just to duplicate the item that you already have if it's a similar thing. Let's keep it moving. This right here is a weapon system, and this is just for structural design. I literally threw that on the top of my skeleton hab right here, which is my control station, because I didn't like how this looks so generic. So I put this on for a little bit of a slicker look. Slicker, is that a word? It's gonna be a word today. All right, and there we have it. So now that we're able to see everything, this right here is the cockpit. I bought that here in Jemison. Then this is the basic Nova Galactic control station. This is just a simple one, a 2x1 that has 4 crew stations in it. I wanted to attach that straight into the cockpit so it just flows so nicely. And then I went ahead and I attached my workshop right to the back of that, as well as attached my bay right in there. And then I put my docking system right next to the bay, so that when people board my ship, they're not actually going into places where I have living quarters. Then, easy enough, I attached a science lab over on the right side of the ship, and I attached living quarters over on the left side of the ship. I got this special Tayo Astroneering all-in-one top for the upper layer of my ship. It gave it a really slick design, and you have to be mindful. Specific pieces that you might be looking at may go on the inside of the ship, whereas other pieces go on the outside of the ship. Make sure that you're looking at the different variations so you can get the design that you're looking for. Let's keep it moving. We'll go ahead and attach these landing gears on the side. I put the structural design right here on the top. I took this like a sunroof and placed it right there, as well as that for a little bit more design. This spinal piece right here is not only for design, but also so I can mount my weapon system on top of it. Certain structural pieces allow you to attach weapons to them, so it might be a good idea to experiment with different pieces so you can really get a nice look as well as have a practical use for it. I slapped my 2 landing gears on either side, so this spaceship has 4 landing gears, and that was good enough to balance it. Then I went more for design. I threw a cowling on. After putting on a cowling, I put the engine right behind it on either side. And we're almost done. Right after I threw on the cowling, I had my Grav drive. I made sure that my Grav drive was right behind the all-in-one berth, just for the look that I was going for. And I put my shield on top of that. I took my reactor, I slapped that right on top of the bay, because that's usually where I like to put my reactors. And then I put a radiator right on it. Now, if you look closely at all the different components in the game, they have these circle or square indicators on them. And that tells you whether you can attach something to them or how it will connect to the rest of your build. So if you want everything to connect like Legos, make sure you're paying attention to where these different circles or these components can be connected. This actually could be connected right on the back of that reactor, and that's a perfect spot for this build for me. Moving forward with the build, I went and slapped this in the front, and I threw some sunroofs on the back. And the reason I didn't throw the sunroofs on the front is actually because if you look over here on the right side of my spaceship, I wanted to attach this fuel tank. And when I attached the fuel tank right here, I couldn't get to the port right there without bumping into, you know, that obstacle of it not being able to attach there. So I was actually able to bypass all of that and attach a rooftop port just like that, a porthole, and there it is. And it's so cool because from the inside of the ship you can actually see the fuel tanks. So I really like that. That attention to detail is amazing. Then throw on these super jet engines right on the back, as well as grab the cargo because you don't want to leave that behind. And there you go, you have the MSHD A-Class Starship. This thing is an absolute beast, and it's one of my favorite designs so far that I've created in Starfield. If you guys like what we do here on the channel, make sure you smash that like button, and if you found this guide helpful, I hope you sub to the channel so that you don't miss any more episodes. In the next couple of videos, I'm going to be going over all the weapon systems, the best ones to use, the ones I would stay away from, and a great way to farm skills so you can level up. As well as I'm going to go into the higher class spaceships and start building B class and C class starships. If you guys are excited for that, you already know what to do. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. This has been your boy M of M Since HD. For now, I'm out of here.